All right, guys, I think I'm on. If I haven't messed up my settings. Running just a few minutes late this morning. I'll keep this on for a second just in case I need to hear something. Um, okay, looks like I could see myself on YouTube and looks like I can see myself on LinkedIn. So that was good. Okay, well, welcome. It's time for another open house sessions with Justin. Today we're talking about Service Operations Workspace. And yeah, I've had a colleague of mine, a friend of mine, Joe, was talking about Service Operations Workspace, and I was like, I'm in and out of Service Operations Workspace all the time, but I don't really spend a lot of time there, right? So maybe go there to see what like an incident looks like, or check some new feature that came out. But myself, Justin, I don't actually work out of Service Operations Workspace routinely. So I figured, why not use the open house sessions to explore a little bit more and poke around a bit? Um, and before, let me impersonate a non-admin user so we can see what service operations workspace looks like for like a level one or a level two, tier one, tier two service desk agent, right? So if you're not familiar, there used to be an experience called uh, is it Agent Workspace? I don't think it was ITSM Workspace. I think it was Agent Workspace, and it's a deprecated legacy application, and it was replaced with Service Operations Workspace. And Service Operations Workspace started off as kind of just ITSM, and then it started getting some more features around ITOM or IT Operations Management. So in this session, we're going to focus on the ITSM part of it. So incident, problem, change, request, interactions. We'll take a look at interactions. So I'm in as a one of the demo personas, David Liu, he's part of the service desk group, so he can see when he logs in, unlike when I was logged in as the admin, well, at least one of them, these graphs or these widgets actually show up. Now, I like the concept of this overview page, right? I'm starting my day at work, or I'm coming in to do my job, and I kind of see my team's stuff, or see my stuff and see my team's stuff. If we flip over here to Teams work, we can see the Teams work. Now, I do have one complaint about this little interface, is because of the way the rest of the workspaces work, or most of them work this way, the expectation for me as a user would be that I could click and interact with these graphs and go to those incidents. But what's counterintuitive, again, to me, is that it actually opens up that list of incidents just below. We can see what they are. So clicking on these graphics actually show the stuff below. Do we have anything more than one? No, everything's one. Let's see, Teams work. Here we go. Work in progress 12. Okay, so there we got 12 things, and it shows up there. That's my only complaint about this overview page is I, I'm expecting it to take me to a list of incidents, and yet it changes the graphic down below. So, but that's a small complaint. So what else is going on here? We've got the overview. You can see his work. You can see his team's work, and when you see how that interacts down below, in the upper right-hand side, we have some announcements. So this is something that Service Desk manager or someone can control what people are seeing, and there's some personalization there to show it as cards or as a list view. There's the card view, and you can kind of flip through the cards to see what the announcements are. List view is probably better in that case. We have some upcoming things based on SLAs, so what's today, what's coming tomorrow, and some quick links. David doesn't have any quick links set up. My head's in the way, just realized. So I was showing this upcoming piece right here that was behind my head. He doesn't have any quick links, but he can add quick links using this plus button or this add a link button down here. Put in the URL, put the text in, and that'll show. So let's just test this out. We'll have a shortcut to my YouTube channel. How's that sound? youtube.com/@JustinMeadows, and the display text will be Justin's house. How's that? We'll add that, and okay, I was like, it didn't do anything for a second there. That wasn't expected behavior. So now if I click on this link, and I hope it doesn't bring the audio up, it should take me to my YouTube channel. Yes, it does. There's a video, like a running video that plays as soon as you hit that page on my YouTube channel. So anyway, so that's the ability to add quick links so your agents can personalize their workspace in that way. Um, So yeah, the other thing that I tried to turn off, I wanted to get rid of this, or at least show you guys how to get rid of it. There is a whole configuration like experience, service operations workspace configurations, that's supposed to like make it easier for you to tailor and customize the wrong word, configure the service operations workspace. And the greeting is one of those things, and I couldn't turn it off for some reason, but it does have this scheduling capability within the workspace. Again, that's one of those new things or newer things. Let's go ahead and look at his schedule. Does it keep me? Yeah, it kept me in the workspace. It dropped me down, if you see there, to this little calendar icon right there. So we could have gone there manually, but he doesn't have anything on his schedule. And I really didn't want to spend time on the scheduling aspect of this. But if you're into the whole like planning shifts and PTO and who's covering what, there's some pretty robust functionality that I think was born out of CSM or Field Service Management and brought in here to ITSM. That's my guess, because that's where I saw them working on it years back. Okay, so we're in Service Operations Workspace, and the first thing I want to do is open an interaction. So there is this tabbed experience here at the top. When I was demoing this to potential customers back when I was a solutions consultant, I tried to emphasize that these workspaces introduce this tabbing experience within the workspace. If you've used ServiceNow for any amount of time, you know that if you open up separate browser tabs when you're working with the platform, that they tend to get mixed up. And I'll give you an example. If I'm working in a browser tab and I open up a new tab and I open up a record and I go use the UI to go back, or I hit update, that page will go back to the last page that I was on, regardless of the tab. So if I have 3 tabs open and I'm over here on this third tab, and then I go to the second tab, when I hit update or hit the back in the UI or whatever, it'll go back to the page I was on in this third tab, which is a weird experience. It's kind of like, it's really unsettling too if you've not used ServiceNow and not experienced that before. You're like, hey, why did it go back to this place? And then you realize, oh, I was in that place on the other tab. That's why this tab went back to that place and not where it should have gone back to. So all that to say, we can create these tabs to interact within the workspace and not have that browser tab wonkiness, if you will. Interaction records, not to get too in the weeds on what these are for, but it's meant to be kind of like a document that a call came in. Let's say someone called me, called Justin. Just realized I still have my headphones on. Actually, let me keep those on because I'm relying on the sound if one of you guys leaves a comment. And by the way, I didn't mention, if you have a question, if you want me to click on something, interrupt me, put a comment in. I want this to be interactive. I don't want it to be just me talking to you. So I'm keeping an eye on questions on my screen over here. And let me just make sure that you guys aren't adding questions that I can't see now that I think about it. I use a special tool to monitor the comments, and then I can display them on the screen, and everything looks in order, so it looks good. Let me just make sure that's muted. Okay. All right. So interaction records, what I was talking about there, they're meant to be, someone's called me and I really don't know what their issue is yet. I don't know if it's an incident. I don't know if it's a request. So I'm just going to start documenting because they're like blah, 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 blah on the phone, and I need to capture it really quick. So let's say a short description talking about their application, and then I can make some work notes. We want to put the caller's name in. Let's pick on old Abraham Lincoln. And now I have an interaction record in the workspace. There is no call, so there's no call integration in my PDI or my demo instance, so that wouldn't have happened. But I do have the details that I just entered, and I can start creating records from this interaction record. Now, where's the tabs come in? Well, what if I want to create an incident at the same time that I'm creating an interaction? Unrelated incident, right? Not related to Abraham Lincoln. New incident demo. And we'll put a description in. My server is on fire. I don't know. That sounds bad. And we'll put the caller in. This time we'll be Able Tutor, who's our architect in the demo data. And we'll just save this. And now I have an incident going for this. Oh, and I hate this. This is my other complaint about this workspace. This overview tab in the workspace, it drives me nuts because I put myself in the shoes of someone who's coming in to do their job, right? Do their work. And for me to have to create an incident like I just was on a new form, and then I have to say, oh, now it's giving me the summary. Let me get back to that form that I was filling out in the details. It's just, there's a way to disable this again in the service. Maybe we'll do that towards the end. There's a way to disable this in the configurations for Service Operations Workspace. It uses some user criteria for users that are part of the service desk group. That's how it's set up in my instance. And I changed that. I put David Liu. David Liu was in the service desk group. That's why I impersonated him. And I enabled it to not show the overview tab, and it's still doing it. So it drives me crazy. This should totally be like, this should not be the default behavior. As soon as you've worked with an incident more than once, just take me to the details, right? I need to go do my job. Take me to the details. So, all right. So I've got my interaction record. I've got an incident record. I could open up tons more of these tabs, but hopefully you get the idea that we're able to open up more records at the same time and work on them simultaneously without having the browser wonkiness of having multiple tabs open in your browser. That is probably the biggest selling point to me, if I was trying to sell this to somebody, of why you'd want this experience as opposed to, let's go back to look at an incident this way, the old way. I'm just going to pull up a list of incidents. Hopefully it changes my login to David. At all. I was working on a Jira integration earlier this morning. That's why it's on this page. Hopefully it's not showing anything I don't want you to see. Okay, now to move over. So I got a list of incidents, and if I open up an incident, the form's going to look a little bit different. But if I wanted to open up another incident or an interaction like I was showing you in the workspace, I'd have to do that in a new tab. I couldn't do it here. And that's where it gets crazy with the browser. So that's why these tabs are advantageous to me. And it should be something that maybe you're sharing with your user base or people who might not be using Service Operations Workspace yet. So two things, the tabs, and then if you can, turn this crap off. I'll see if I can figure it out. It's not working for me yet. If I figure it out, I'll post a video on how to make sure this overview tab goes away. It was around the August timeframe that I think they introduced, end of August, they introduced the ability to disable that overview, but I haven't got it to work yet. And I didn't have enough time yesterday to play with it before doing this live stream. So, okay. So we got our new incident, server's on fire. I've got my interaction record. Abraham Lincoln, he's talking about his application. And again, the kind of use case here is for an interaction record. Let's document that we're talking to Abraham Lincoln. Let's take some notes while he's going on and on about how things were better in the old days before there were applications. And at some point, you may realize, okay, I need an incident, or I need a request, or I need a change based on what Abraham's telling us. We're going to stay here since we're doing ITSM and Service Operations Workspace. But you can see we also have some cross. I think that's either that's an HR case or that's a customer service management case. In fact, I don't know. Let's try it. Let's see what that is. That's a customer service case. So it's prefixed with the CS. So opening up a customer service case is possible. Creating a universal request is also possible. We could probably do a whole live stream on universal requests, so we won't cover that today. But think of universal request just briefly as it's a request to represent something that a user needs that's going to involve multiple departments in order to fulfill that request. Think about like maybe customer service and HR and IT. You need to do something that would be all collected under a universal request. But let's say we're going to create an incident for old Abraham Lincoln. It will copy over the details. Again, it takes me to this stupid overview page. I have to click on details. It copies over the information that I had in the interaction, including his name or his user ID. And it will relate the interaction with the new incident. So it automatically doing that work for you, which is a plus. So we've got his incident now. And I'll point out, again, the tabbed nature of these things. We now have this second row of tabs going on. So as you interact with this incident record or the interaction record and open up more things, like let's open up Abraham Lincoln's user record. Ooh, that's new. I don't remember it giving a preview before. But if I open up the user record to look at it, I get another tab inside of this interaction record tab. So I got interaction, the details of the interaction, the incident I created from the interaction, and the user for that interaction. And we could keep opening as many tabs as we needed, depending on what we're looking at. Another example might be his configuration item, like what's impacted. Is it a laptop? Is it his mobile phone? Um, Leave a comment. Does Abraham Lincoln use iPhone or Android? iOS or Android for Abe Lincoln? Let's see if we can sort that out. Let's see his configuration item. I want to pick a laptop or something. So we can filter, and we'll do class. It's a little slower than I'd want. Come on. Is it laptop? Oh, come on. LAPTOP. I don't have all the CMDB classes memorized. Computer, I think, is the parent class. Yeah, so let's do computer. And Linux server. Is there desktop? What is the workstation, maybe? Why am I having a drawing a blank? I can't. What is the name of the asset? I don't know. Vendor warranty. Okay, let's put it on a server. We'll put it on a Unix server. He's calling about Abraham Lincoln. It's funny when I say it. Is calling about his Unix server. This is not. I don't. It's just not doing anything. So I don't know. What? Okay. This is a total fail. I don't have a script for this, but that was a total fail. Let's see if we get into something here. That looks like some disks, some file locations. Yeah, this is not a great experience. Let's try, maybe this is what I'm looking for. Assets, hardware. Asset tag, let's do asset tag as a field, and we'll do is not empty. That should get me to at least something better than what we're seeing here. Aha, there we go. So class was computer, manufacturer was Lenovo, and the name. The model ID maybe is what I should have gone after to sort. Okay. So we will log this under Annie IBM. All right, so we've got Annie IBM as the configuration item on this incident for Abraham Lincoln. And what I was trying to show was the opening of these tabs in this second tabbed window there. So let's go ahead and open up that asset. Again, this preview, I don't remember this preview. I don't know if this is how new that is. But now I have, again, one interaction, the details, the incident, the user, and the asset all open at the same time. If that's not a selling point for not using the classic UI, I don't know what else is. Because even though you saw me fumble there around the configuration items, that was a Justin problem, not a ServiceNow problem, other than the performance might have been a little poor. But I'm in a PDI. It's like not somebody's production instance. This is a personal developer instance meant to be used for developing and coding. Okay. So we've got an incident. Let's take a look at more of that incident record. These fields all showing here. This is configured through a view. If you're an admin, you know how to configure views. There's always a workspace view on the record. So you could see view, and we've got SOW, incident resolve, SOW modal, ITAM workspace. So there's different views. I'm imagining we're looking at this service operations workspace view, which would correspond with what we're seeing in the actual workspace. So if you wanted to, as an admin, change this form in Service Operations Workspace, you just need to go to the classic UI, pull up the view for the workspace. You can see now we're in the Service Operations Workspace view, and then you can use Form Builder because they will do everything they can to make you use Form Builder. If you try form design or form layout, it tries to redirect you to Form Builder, and there's nothing wrong with Form Builder. There's just a different interface, a more newer interface to change what that looks like. See, there's a little pop-up to try to get us to use Form Builder. So let's go back. That's my view. But before you go and change the view, you can tell your users that they can personalize this form. So there is a personalization, just like there is in the classic UI. If you go to the, let me show you here, the upper right, there's this personalized form capability. Same thing you can do in the Service Operations Workspace. You can personalize the incident form to not show the things you're not interested in. So let's see if a good example, maybe I'm not interested in the origin or something else, but let's turn off location so you can actually see that disappear when I hit update form. Now that location field is gone. So that's the form personalization. So you got two options there. As an admin, change the form for everybody, or as a user, change the form for yourself to accommodate your needs. But what else we got here? So the impact, urgency, how the call came in, the category, those are all configured by you. The subcategory, which corresponds to the category, the watch list, the work notes list to open by. Hopefully you're familiar with incidents, that you know what most of that means. Impact, so this is where you start kind of relating different things. Like maybe there's an actual application that's being impacted by this incident, or in this case, a configuration item for Abraham Lincoln, or a service offering. If you're not familiar, service offerings are kind of like the business facing side of things. I don't have any business. I thought it did have business service offerings. What did I call mine? I thought I had some. It doesn't see any in there. Uh-oh, I got a comment. I didn't get the ding in my ear hole. Sorry, Joe. Let me check why I'm not getting the ding. All right, Joe says, we made a change to auto hide the impact section when the incident form loads in SOW. So do you mean like this section right here, or this impact section right here, Joe? Because it's this tab is what drives me crazy. That you have to go to the details tab in order to do your job, right? So overview is nice if you're like, I don't know, someone who's just looking in to see what's going on. But if you're actually working it, I just need to get to the details. So I'm curious, Joe, if you meant the right here on the overview tab. Okay, right here. So that's what Joe is talking about. They removed that from here. I want to get rid of the overview tab entirely. It's annoying. But ServiceNow didn't ask Justin. That was not on the list of people to consult with how this should be designed, and that's okay. But good to see you in here, Joe. Let me make sure I don't leave your comment on the screen the entire time this time, like last week. We've got assignment details just below that, related records. So this would be the primary related record, and then there also is a tab for multiple related records. One of them could be a configuration item or a problem or parent-child incidents caused by related changes, stuff like that. I'll just click on it so you can see. Task SLAs, effective CIs, impacted services. Let's see, needs to probably update. Let's see, because I did put a service in there. Maybe, oh, did I not save it? Maybe I need to save it. And there's my service. Yeah, okay. Child incidents, change requests, outages, and interactions. So it's just keeping track of the spider web of stuff that's associated with this incident. Not interaction, the incident. So let's scroll down here, cause and resolution. So your resolution code, stuff like that. All those details are there for incident. And in the middle, we've got the work notes. Again, this corresponds to this. I'm in the workspace view. Let's change our view back to default view. So the classic UI, if you scroll halfway down, there's always a notes section where you can have work notes and comments. So that's what's going on in the middle here, is I've got a consolidated view, work notes and comments. Now you can control, I'm gonna have to move my head again. Did I move my head? There we go. You can control kind of the layout of this whole incident record using this down here. So maybe I just want to see the form that I was just reviewing, or maybe I wanted to see the form plus the activities, or just the activities. I didn't know what I was going to do. So you got control over that to kind of personalize that. Oh, and then what is this? Oh, I haven't seen that before. So I can change my composition area to be side by side with the activity log versus stacked. I wasn't expecting either of those. Okay, so if I turn them off, There we go. That's the default view where I can go flip between work notes, additional comments, and compose emails. And then I guess if I go to this side-by-side view, that's that, and stacked is that view. Interesting. So again, um, instead of having a static user interface, your users can kind of tailor this to how they want to see things. But let's get back to out of the box. Is that out of the box? That's not out of the box. What did I do? Let's get back. Turn this off and then go back to this. Okay, that's default. All right, so we got our activity log there. Now there's been some enhancements. If you're used to this activity log, it's kind of your filtering and kind of stuff like that it's not even showing here. Here's the filtering. There it is. So you can come in and filter on stuff like that, and if you're an admin, you can configure what fields are there. With Service Operations Workspace, there's a lot more filtering. So you can say, hey, I want to see only, let's clear it. I want to see attachments. I don't have any attachments. I only want to see field changes. Now I'm just looking at all the field changes for this particular incident. Or I only want to see work notes, and now I've only seen the work notes. That's something new, newer than the old UI. So we can do that there. And then we can flag things too. So if you're like, on the hunt, trying to troubleshoot something, and you're scrolling through here and be like, oh, this is important, I'm going to flag this. And now I just want to see, show me only the stuff that I flagged when I come in here. So that's a cool feature. And then field changes, I can, filter on what field changes I'm interested in seeing. And then I did a video for this a while back. I can create preset filters to come in and filter exactly what I'm seeing. So like if you had a shared service desk team and they're kind of working in the same style, working in the same way, you might want to consider creating some filter sets for them to use. Let's go ahead and reset that. I can also search the activity stream. Pretty sure if I want to do that here, I'd just be like Control F or Command F to search the entire page. And then I can control sorting, I guess is what that was. It wasn't intuitive. And then I can expand all activity posts. So if I scroll down here, it's kind of abbreviating the activity, and I can do show more. And then I can expand them all to show more. So that's pretty cool. The part over here on the right that is probably case number 3, why you want to use Service Operations Workspace. Case number 1 was, I'm not going to try to keep track. The first one was the tabbed experience. The second one was the kind of, I don't even remember what I said. But what I'm going to show you here on the right-hand side does not happen in the classic UI. Where ServiceNow is investing and spending their development time and dollars is in these workspace experiences. And there's a lot going on just in this right-hand menu. So I've got just the record information showing right now, kind of summarizing things. I've got recommendations that if I had the recommendation stuff activated and turned on, it actually might work. It's loading. Where the system will try to make recommendations to the agent or the fulfiller that's working on this. I can also leverage Agent Assist, which if you can build out, things like, hey, I need to go find a related knowledge article. It is on knowledge articles. Let's say I want to go look for problems that have the text talking about their application. So it's taking the text from over here and it's defaulting that value on Agent Assist. So you can change it. I want to search for a laptop in problem, and now I get a problem that has the word laptop in it. So that's Agent Assist. It does the same for knowledge articles, catalog items, problems, similar incidents, open problems, open incidents, resolved incidents, kind of these pre-built categories there in Agent Assist. Experts on call, if I was using this capability, I'd be able to go see who's on call for a particular group. Let's look for, I don't have any groups in my demo environment, but we could potentially see who's on call based on the schedule and get their contact information and kind of accelerate that time to resolution. What else we got here? The collaborate. So if I wanted to chat within platform and keep it related to the record, I could start a chat. So we'll start a sidebar discussion. Here we go. And I'll leave the defaults and everything and add participants. We'll add, those are suggested people to add. Let's add, who else can I add? Beth Anglin, and I'll just type in yo and start a discussion. So that's in platform chat that I can have around this record. It's got a reference to the record up top. It puts it in the activity log so I can see that there is this chat going on, and now I can talk to everybody. So it's like, what's up, y'all? I live in the South in the United States, so I could say y'all, even though I don't really say y'all. Um, so yeah, that's the chat feature. And if you're wondering, like, how would you know that someone's trying to chat with you? It'll throw you a notification up there in the upper right, so that you know there's a chat waiting on you to respond to. Let's see what else we got. Coaching assessment. So if you're using the coaching module within ServiceNow, if you're not using the coaching module within ServiceNow, you should look into using the coaching module within ServiceNow, because it's a way for you to kind of like up the game of your service desk team or your fulfillers by providing some coaching assessments. And so if I had an assessment, let's actually hit the plus sign here. I'm going to go look at it and give some feedback. So I might provide some feedback to the particular person who's being trained, and then provide them that feedback. I can see attachments. I can see response templates. David, or not David, who's David? Joe, this is what I was talking about last night. Um, the template feature, actually, that's the response template. That's for email. So if you wanted to template email something, but the templates for actually filling out this particular record, all that exists here in the workspace. So I can create my own template. Let's do that real quick. It pulls in all the values from the record I was looking at, which is fine. So let's just change Abraham Lincoln to someone else. Let's get out of there in my template, and we'll change it to Aaron Price and hit save. So I give my template a name. Yeah, it's template 2. And now I'll close that. And so now that I'm looking at the incident record, I can, where's my templates? There's template 2. I apply that, and notice it changed the caller from Abraham Lincoln to Aaron Price. And it would have done any other fields that I've done. And it gives you a little banner letting you know what fields it's set. So that's it's not automation, but it's like, I don't know, sometimes stuff happens at the service desk or whatever, and you just got to kind of fill out the form the same way. So think of things like resolution codes and resolution details. You could template that and just really quickly fill in these forms to do that using the templates. And then the last one here, email templates, which I thought was response templates. So maybe I don't know what that is. Email templates. There is no email templates in here, but essentially, if I wanted to write an email, I could come in and write an email here. And I know then here we have response templates. Open draft in tab. Well, that's nifty. I didn't know that. Some more tabbed features there, and I don't have any email templates. I don't see a way to create any. View drafts attached, but it's full email functionality. Emails don't work on your PDI, so I never bothered to like do this and send anything, but in your instance, that should work really well. All right. Anything else about this incident record? Yes, there's more. When you're in the Service Operations Workspace, I can create incident tasks for someone to go do something. I can create an outage. A often unknown, unused feature there is the outage capability. There's a widget on the portal. And I think there's a corresponding widget for Employee Center that if you create outages, it'll actually show on the portal or on Employee Center that application or that service, I think it would be a service, is out. So let me go click on that so you can see it, not just me talking about it. So I can specify it's an outage, when it started, the configuration item. It's going to do it for her Annie's IBM laptop, when it started, when it ends, and it'll calculate the duration. And all that stuff would show on the portal and stuff like that. And because it's ServiceNow, you can have approvals and workflows and automations around, okay, we just created an outage. Maybe we should send an email to the CIO so he knows before the CEO tells him that there's an outage. Think of things like that might be related to outages. And the other things we can do, problem, request, and child incident. So incident task, outage, problem, request, and child incident. I'm going to go to request because this used to be a huge pain point, and I think ServiceNow did a fantastic job at making this a great experience going forward. So it does open up a new tab related to this interaction, related to this incident, but it brings that employee center look and feel into the workspace. and kind of relates everything, like you've been seeing. So maybe we need to request a mobile phone for Abraham Lincoln. Did anybody say? No one said iPhone or Android for Abraham Lincoln. Come on, I can't get one comment. iPhone or Android? I'm gonna go with Android. I'm an Android user. Um, Pixel 4a is kind of an old Android, but we'll give Abraham Lincoln a Pixel 4a. Choose the color, just black or white, and then storage 128. So you see, it's kind of like the same end user shopping experience that you would expect uh, for a portal, like someone logging into the portal, but it's actually for the service desk agent or the fulfiller who's ever working on this. Let's go ahead and check out. Whee! And I can view the details of that request. Then I'll open up that request inside Operations Workspace. So lots going on. If we go back to this incident, look at the related records, we should see, no, it's not going to have a tab for requests. Interesting. It's not there. But this request might be related to, no? They're requested items. Yeah, so interesting. I lost the connection to my incident. Um, Okay. Anyways, I won't get hung up on that. But that's how you create a request. The other thing we could do from an incident is create a change request. And this experience is much better than it used to be. So if you've used the newer change models and that experience, it brings you straight to that interface that you would expect to see all your standard changes and your normal changes, the different models you might use. Let's do a standard change because that's going to be the simplest one to demo. And we're going to reboot a Windows server for Abraham Lincoln using his Android on Annie's IBM laptop or workstation. Now we go into the full change request experience within the workspace. Again, with this overview tab. I get it. Like I get like the requirement for there to be an overview tab, but if I just created the change request, the first thing I want to do is go fill out the change details. Come on, ServiceNow. I don't need to see an overview for something that I just created. All right, I'll shut up. Change, I could put all the change information in. Let's see, it already pulled in Annie's laptop, and now I have my justification, risk and impact. And because it's a standard change, some of this stuff is already filled out and kind of locked down. Implementation plan, backup plan, test plan. As part of the standard change approvals, you should be, standardizing some of that so that people don't have to put this in all the time, and it kind of saves in time. So there's all that. I'll hit save just for fun. There we go. I was hoping it wouldn't bring me back to the overview tab because I was going to lose my mind. All right. So now from a change, I can create a change task, compose an email, create an outage, refresh the impacted services, cancel it, copy the URL. I don't remember that one, and delete it. The one thing that I've talked to a couple people about is from an admin perspective, I love the ability for there to be a button to say, open this in the classic UI. I remember seeing one in the old SecOps security incident response workspace. There was like the open in classic UI button. And I haven't seen it in the newer workspaces, but as an admin, a lot of the work that we do, as you saw, to configure things, we go back into the classic UI to do our configurations. So I'd literally love a button to like open that in the classic UI to maybe see things. I think that would improve adoption for people using this if they had a way to quickly get back to what they need. Right now, the only way would be for me to search for that incident number. And actually, no, that won't even work because it's going to go into the service operations workspace. Let me see. Let's test that. So it default to the service operations workspace. So let's just type in INC. What was it? 0010021. Found an exact match. If I click on it, it's going to open it in service operations workspace. So let's try that again. Oops. Oh, apparently you can move these. Well, that's nifty. Let's copy that into a number. And let's change our search to global. Found an exact match. Now it popped out to the classic UI and popped my conversation back up. That's annoying. So that's the reason why I'd love there to be a button, and I haven't had time to figure that out yet. So luckily, when you're using Service Operations Workspace or any workspace, if you change something, so my server is on fire, let's change this to and smoking, tab off of there. Notice that it gives me a little indicator on the incident record that I have unsaved changes, and it gives me an indicator that I have a workspace that has unsaved changes. So if I were to do what I just showed you and search for that incident, it takes me to the incident, but I have an indicator, a visual indicator that, hey, I need to go back to the workspace because I have an unsaved change, and an indicator there next to Service Operations Workspace. And I can go make sure I save the work that I was doing, and then all those indicators will go away. So that's another new, not new feature, but it's another feature I think is nice. And it keeps popping the sidebar. That's really annoying. Okay, so we did interaction, we did incident, and is there anything else I wanted to show? I could show you create problem. It's going to create a problem record and relate it to the incident. It's going to take me to this stupid overview page. Are you seeing yet how annoying this is? And then I'll click on details to go look at everything. But yeah, it's nice interface there to create the problem. And now I have my problem related stuff. I can create changes, defects, enhancements, improvements, outages, known error articles, stuff like that. Hopefully all that's familiar to you if you've been using ITSM and ServiceNow for some time. All right, so that's kind of the record management and the basics of Service Operations Workspace. The other thing that I find myself going to often in any of the workspaces are the list views. So ServiceNow is the experience is going to drive you to these home pages or landing pages as they call them, and they're great. That for me in my workspace, I put all my dashboards and stuff on there so that I have a nice kind of way in. But I'd say like 9 times out of 10, I'm going to come in here to this list view and get into the weeds on what I'm looking for. So we've been talking about incident. Let's talk about something else. Let's look at changes. Let's look at all the open changes. Now I have a list view of all the open changes. I can hide that kind of panel to the left and really interact with this just like I would in the classic UI. So this is comparable to my list of incidents that we'd have. Aha, now you just saw in real time the problem with browser tabs. I hit the back button on my incident record in the classic UI, but I've been working in my Service Operations Workspace. So when I went back in this tab, it went back to what I was doing in this tab. Not quite back, it went to the home page, but this is why browser tabs are not a great experience with ServiceNow. So what I was trying to show you is this list view, and I went to incidents. Let's go, is it change requests? Change underscore request. Yes. So this list view in the workspace is equivalent to this list view in the classic UI. And there's been more functionality here that I haven't noticed until I came in here and started prepping for it. So I'm hovering over one of them there, the copy link to current view. So I can actually copy that link and have someone, paste that into a chat or something. I can also edit the record right there from the list view, which I don't remember this the last time I was in here, but I like it. So it's a quick way to actually move through and edit something. And then it puts what feature I love in the classic UI, the move to the next record or move to the previous record experience up there in the upper right. So I can now say I want to go to change 2303, there's 3 O's in there, and the next one, and the next one, and the next one, and the next one. So I'm seeing a lot of feature parity with the classic UI experience in that. There's also, and I have a video for this, where you can actually change things by double clicking on them, just like you could in the classic UI. Things that you're not allowed to, it's not going to let you edit them, just like that. There's some security rules preventing you from doing it. But things that you are allowed to edit, it'll let you edit from right here. And if you don't see the fields that you want to edit, you can personalize this. So I can actually go say, hey, I want the close by to actually show in my view and hit apply. And now I'll have the close by column. Well, that's kind of poor. I got to scroll all the way down to scroll right. And now I see the close by column, which is empty for all of these changes. Oh, that's because I did all open changes, I think. Yeah. So I've got feature parity there with personalizing the list, and I can go back to the default settings. That indicator, I don't remember that indicator up there, but there's the indicator letting me know that I'm not on the default view. I'm assuming what that means. And so I can reset my columns to go back to the default view. I can search this entire thing, or I can search a particular column. I used to be able to. What the heck? Here we go. This is all new to me too. I don't remember this being there. So you can open up, this is the equivalent of this button in the classic UI where you could search any column. Now I have that here where I can come in and say, short description contains patch. And no, I no longer have to put star patch like we used to. I can change the operator right there. So is not, starts with, ends with, contains. I don't have to memorize that anymore. So let's do patch, hit enter, and it finds all the change requests that have the word patch in the short description. I can export this to Excel, CSV, JSON, PDF using the export button, and then go do whatever calculations that I want. Or I can just open the damn thing and start, and then click on details, and then start doing my job right from that list view. So I find the list view in here really helpful. Without this, you'd have to go back to the classic UI and do things. And then, if that wasn't enough, most of the workspaces in Service Operations Workspace included pre-populate these lists with things that are common for the role or the persona that would be logging into the workspace to do something. But if you're like, hey, I'm also doing this other job, and I want to grab another table to put into my my workspace, I can go do that. Let's do oh, what's a table to look at that wouldn't be here? No, a table that David has access to might be knowledge. Maybe users. Let's just say users. He wants to be able to look at the list of users, and then we'll search for sys_user. I did test this before. Okay, user. And then he can apply any filters to that view, click create, and now he's got a list of users inside of his list that wasn't in his default list that was provided in Service Operations Workspace, but now he may want to go browse the users once in a while and search for something. Maybe a lot of times I've noticed service desks, they want to kind of like, hey, what's your, hey, this is Justin, thanks for calling, happy to help you today. What's your user ID? It's usually the first question. Or what's your name or something like that. So maybe this would be a list that they might want to come in and say, okay, hey, Abraham Lincoln, yep, let me pull up your user record here. Okay, I see what's going on. You can't really create anything from here, but I could just say create an incident change request problem now that I'm looking at Abraham's record. It would be cool if that was here. Maybe one day they'll do that. But anyways, some people want to use the interaction record. Some people want to open up an incident directly. I've seen other teams want to look at a list of users like we just did and open it from there. Maybe they're trying to, avoid the problem of having duplicate users or users have similar names and getting it in the right place. But anyways, I carry on. Okay, so we've got 11 minutes left, and what I did want to make sure to show before we were out was that configuration that I was talking about. So ServiceNow is trying to make it easier to not have to go into UI Builder in order to do things in these workspaces. But I don't know that they're actually helping much, because I've been working with ServiceNow for since 2017, and I'm confused by what's going on here. Like, it just doesn't quite make sense to me. And I'll use the example of that banner that showed at the top of the workspace. I wanted to turn that off. So if you go to the configuration or initial setup, it takes me to this landing page, and I have this greeting. Displays the greeting message as a header on the landing page, right? Okay, great. I can change the header on the landing page. So it looks like something for my team. I hit configure, and it takes me to a freaking script include. Like, what? What? I don't understand what you're wanting me to do with a script include to edit the header of something in a workspace. So that's where I say ServiceNow is trying to make this easier. And I guess it is easier because all the configurations that you may want to do are in the same place, and you kind of got links out to get to them. But then when you go to do something, like, I know what a script include is, I know what UI Builder is, I know what a banner is. I don't know what the heck I'm supposed to do with this because it's doing something with the agent shift, which is that little link that we clicked on. But like the instructions say, displays the greeting message as a header on the landing page. Like, well, that's just a script include, not, I don't know. I want to turn the header page off. Like, I don't want to see it anymore. Let's see what else we can do in here. Collapse the landing page list by default while loading the page, list view configurations. Here's your tier 1 and tier 2 configurations. So if I wanted to change, let's give this a test. I haven't clicked on this yet. The donut configurations for a tier 1 agent that logs into the workspace, I can, is it taking me to platform analytics? It's taking me to something that I can't display. Great. Yeah, so this is more of what I'm talking about, of like, it just doesn't make sense. Let's check out the announcements, see if we have better luck there. This was in the upper right when I was showing at the beginning of the card view versus the list view. So let's try to configure announcements. Okay, so I've got some data sources. It's pulling in outages and banner announcements. Banner announcements are something else you can do in the platform. And then it's got SOW announcements. So, okay. If I go into, so I can't really add an announcement from here. I guess I'd have to create an outage or create a banner announcement. Okay. Again, this is not intuitive to me, and I know the platform pretty well. So I can imagine some people are getting frustrated. Let's see, landing page redirection. So this is some properties, system properties that's giving you access to, and if you want to configure them, I bet it's going to take you to the sys property record. Yes, it did. Okay, so basically they're trying to consolidate the area where you might want to go change things. Here's all the stuff that could show up in that right-hand panel, apparently. And then configurations around interaction management. Display the configure the number of days to fetch and display task assets and interactions from the requester's history. Incident management, got the incident record. Here's the, you can see it. I have it off. I said, don't show this at all, and it still shows for tier 1 agents. David Liu is a tier 1 agent. Let's just go see here real quick. Sys user.list. We're running close on time because we're going to stop at 2 p.m. or 1900 UTC. Anybody have questions or want me to click on something before we run out of time? Is anybody still there? Yeah, we got a couple people out there. Let's look at David Liu. He's in the service desk group, but he might be in a higher up group too. That might be the problem. He might be in another group too, but I don't know. Let's go back to those configurations. Service Operations Workspace. Configurations. So we're looking at incident record before I clicked off of there. So basically the details page, the record. So this is just taking you to what I've already showed you, which was the view for these records in the classic UI for you to change. So it's going to pop into, I love this. It's going to pop into, what's a form builder at this time? The last time I clicked on that, it did not go to form builder. So I was about to say, it doesn't take you to the thing they want you to do to edit it. So that takes you to form builder to change the view. And same thing for new record. What you might want to show a new record. Problem management, looks like same thing. So same kind of flow there. Service desk assisted password reset. I've never touched this thing, so I have no idea what's about to happen when I click on it. Password reset agents, credential stores, reset processes, verification settings, password policies, session properties, change management. Wow, there's a lot of settings for change management. Huh. This is all new to me. I haven't seen any of this before. I can configure my change models from here. And I've got some kind of FAQ explanation around things. Configure change flows in Flow Designer. It all makes sense, but it's really like, it feels like not so much configuring the workspace as it is configuring the applications that are showing up in the workspace is what I'm noticing. So if I wanted to create an approval policy, I guess I could come to the Service Operations Workspace Admin Center to create a new approval policy, which is going to pop me out to the classic UI. I don't know. I feel like I'm complaining a lot. I didn't mean to make this a complaining session. But I'm getting no interaction from anybody, so except Joe. Joe interacted. Um, I'm making sure that I'm not missing comments. Like, Joe left a comment, so I know they're working. Oh wait, I am missing comments. All right, Jerry, my comments aren't showing up for some reason, so I can't highlight your comments, Jerry. But I say, okay, hey Justin, he says, I know another customer in the classic UI has a button to open on the ticket in SOW. Oh, so the vice versa. Like I'm in here, and I want to open up in Service Operations Workspace. That's pretty cool. It would be great if a message appears that there are changes similar to a SharePoint page that has been checked out. Yes, I agree. Would the UI builder help with configuring the workspaces? Well, let me tell you about UI builder, Jerry. Yes, I think is a short answer, but unless you know what the heck you are doing in UI builder, it can be very, very frustrating experience to get in there and try to figure things out. And I've been 2 years in trying to, in between projects and, YouTube stuff or whatever, trying to educate myself on UI builder. And maybe this is a good time to plug Maria. Oh shoot, I'm not gonna remember her whole name. MGPOW. She's got this series she started for. Well, I think I could show you. I think. Can I show you? No, I don't. That's not still open. But she's got a series that's supposed to be like all about doing UI Builder. So the short answer, Jerry, is it should be easier if you know what you're doing in UI Builder. You could do some damage in UI Builder, and that's when I started this demo and was thinking about what to show. My assumption of this Service Operations Workspace Admin Center was a place for you don't have to come into UI Builder. But as I started clicking through these as I was showing it, as you might have seen, they're taking you to places in the platform to do that stuff. So looks like I got another comment. Joe says, no questions here. Thanks for the demo. You're very welcome, Joe. Thanks for coming to visit. And I just realized my head is a little bit bigger than it usually is. I got a big, bald, shiny head. We've got 2 minutes left, so let me plug a couple of things. I'm here every Wednesday, 1 p.m. Eastern, 1800 UTC, for those that are international attendees. I have a blog, justin.house. You just type that in your web browser, and it should take you to my blog where I post all my stuff. When we come out of this, there'll be a video playing with some music that you may or may not like. There'll be a QR code on one of the screens that'll take you to all my socials: Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, YouTube, everything. My blog, I think, is linked on there. So that's where you can follow me, stuff like that. And I don't have a page still set up for demo suggestions, but just send me a direct message on LinkedIn. And if you're interested in seeing something, I can't make promises because not everything I can get into my demo environment. But if it's something that I'm familiar with or I want to learn, I'm definitely open to it being a topic for the next or future live streams. Really appreciate everyone coming to check this out. I'll leave you with one final message about Service Operations Workspace. I think it is an improved experience over the classic UI. And if you want to kind of go where ServiceNow is going, Service Operations Workspace is the place to do ITSM activities, especially for your tier 1, tier 2 agents. Maybe your network team or your database team doesn't necessarily need it. But I'd say if you're just working tickets all day and that's your main function, looking at incidents, problem, change requests, knowledge, we didn't show anything of knowledge. Service Operations Workspace is the place. So last comment from Jerry here. Cheers, Justin, for showing this to us. And it would be great to have study workplace to learn together on Service Operations Workspace. Yeah. I mean, there's actually tons of content too, Jerry, from the ServiceNow channel. If you go to YouTube, there's a bunch of stuff there. I remember seeing it. I haven't looked at it, but John Kelly also says, I left Joe on the screen again. John Kelly says, great content as always. Thanks, Justin. You're very welcome, John. Good to see you again. Appreciate you attending. I'm going to go ahead and stop talking. Appreciate everyone. Thanks for interacting, and I'll be here next week. Have a great rest of your week. It's been fun.
we got